Welcome into Coach's Corner. After winning the GPAC title in men's and women's tennis, the Morningside Mustangs are headed to the NAIA tournament, and joining us is their head coach, Alex Struck. And I want to thank you for taking some time and talking some tennis with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about this NAIA tournament. What's kind of the expectation going on there on the women's side? We'll start there first.
Yeah, so the women have made it 3 times before this year. Been a few years since the last time, but they have a taste of what it's like. A couple of returners have been down there their freshman year, and so we've talked and they know what to expect, and really it's just competing our very best. We know every team down there is very talented. 24 teams make it on both sides, and so we just want to compete every point and show what we've done this year and go against some of the heavyweights.
Let's talk about the men's expectations, because this is kind of a new road for them. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, first time ever for the men. The team we did play on spring break and lost 2-5, and so pretty competitive matches down the line, and so we're excited to build off of that. We've done some scouting and know what they have, and we've worked a lot the last 2 weeks since we found out we made it, and so excited to have a second crack at William Woods and see what we can do this time around.
Let's talk about the Morningside tennis culture. What makes playing tennis for the Mustangs so awesome?
So we have 4 foundations, and it's family, attitude, effort, and commitment, and those are kind of the anchors of everything, and family is the biggest one by far. We're starting right away their freshman year. We really try to get them into the family aspect and do a lot of team bonding and have some meetings and really work on outside of the tennis court growing that culture organically. And so we feel like tennis oftentimes is an individual sport, but at Morningside we want to have that family bond where when they're playing matches, they're not just playing for themselves, singles or doubles, they're trying to win for the whole team. And so we really pride ourselves on that family value and loving each other and supporting each other.
And I got to see a little bit of that family value the other day as we were chit-chatting about you guys heading to Mobile, Alabama, when some of your former players showed up and they were so welcomed. Talk about what it means to kind of build something like that.
Yeah, so 2 years ago when I started, this is my 3rd year, we had 3 guys on the team my first year, and those 3 came back and visited and surprised us at practice yesterday. And the bonds they've been able to develop as a coach, seeing that with their peers has been one of the most special things as being the coach. We've had some of our Americans go overseas and visit some guys in Spain in previous summers. And so just that stuff and seeing the reception when they pulled up to the courts and our guys are like, oh my gosh, freaking out and hugging them and embracing. That's really the coolest thing about being the coach here at Morningside is just those ties that last forever, not just on the wins and losses or during the 4 years here. It goes beyond that.
Absolutely, and the relationships with all these players, starting the recruiting process. Kind of walk me through what it's like to try and find tennis athletes and people that are skilled at this game and bring them here to Sioux City.
Yeah, so we have a very diverse team. We obviously have some local kids on both sides, and then we have a lot of countries as well around the world. We have 16 countries on our team this year, and so a worldwide team, and that process looks a little bit different domestically or internationally. We're more domestic. You know them from state tournaments and local matches and things where you can do more in-person recruiting. They take campus visits. You get to meet the families that way. But internationally, it's a lot more video calls, seeing video footage of their playing. They send videos and you watch that. You still talk to families that way. It's a lot of the same principles, though. It's just building those connections, finding common mindset, belief, what they're looking at of their experience, and really just kind of building those relationships throughout the process and seeing if they're a part of what we're trying to build here as well.
Absolutely, and you talked earlier about family being so important, building these young men and women. How unique is it, I guess, when you're pulling athletes from different countries who are far away from their family to kind of try and be their family right here?
Yeah, at first I was a little timid, I would say. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility, kind of like they're coming away from their family. You talk to some of their moms and dads, and you realize like you're becoming like a father figure to some of these people where they're 17, 18, 19 years old, going a long ways away from home. And it's not just about tennis and trying to get them to be better tennis players. You're helping them navigate a whole new culture and a whole new system. And so it's been really enriching for myself and my wife. My wife's a Morningside grad. She's kind of like our team mom. And so we've taken them in. We have them over for suppers. We'll help them go to the banks or grocery stores and talk about cultures. And I've learned a lot from them as well going through this process.
Absolutely, and I was able to meet Mark, who's, the GPAC Men's Tennis Player of the Year. Awesome kid right there. Walk me through some of the talent on this roster for both the men's and women's side.
Yeah, so starting with the men, I mean, Mark last year was our one singles player and was very close to being GPAC Player of the Year. Lost a tough match in regular season and has been hungry all year to kind of come back and try to reclaim that crown, which he did. But he's been our anchor up top all year in singles and doubles. And has really been a big foundation piece to help us get to this level competitive-wise. And then he's a captain this year as well. And then kind of going down the line, we got a couple new pieces. Santi at number 2, Skander at number 3 and Gustav at 4 that filled in this year and have been really strong players. In fact, those 3 all broke the single-season wins record this year on the men's side. Gustav got to take the nod this year as a freshman. And then our 5 and 6 are big returners from last year, McKeel and JP, who have been excellent. And then our third doubles team is Abby and Winyu. And Winyu's a senior and broke the doubles record this year. And so kind of a mix on the guys' side of returners from last year, then some new pieces. And on the women, we brought back all 12 from last year, and they lost in the GPEC championship, and added in 3 freshmen this year, and 2 of them have been in mainstays. Our number 1 player is a freshman, Lena, out of Denmark, and she broke the wins record this year and is rated nationally as a singles player. And then Annie from Germany is at number 4 and won a lot of matches as well. And then 2 and 3 are 2 seniors, Jill and Delphina, who are back from last year and have had really decorated careers. 5 is Emily, a senior out of Montana, and she's won 101 matches in her career, and second most of all time in Morningside history. And then 6 is Lydia Suarez, who's a sophomore from last year's team, and she's had a really good season too. And so we have a mix of kind of the new core this year, and then a lot of returners on both sides as well.
Absolutely. And you guys take to the court on Tuesday for your first matches there at the tournament. What's the message to these young men and women?
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a fun season, and we don't want it to stop. And we were really thankful we got these last 2 weeks to practice and continue this journey. We're taking a charter bus down here tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. We're excited for this 17-hour drive. I know it sounds crazy, but we have some games lined up, and we're really excited to kind of build on the memories and the allure of this season. But then going down there, it's kind of what I said earlier. It's just competing as hard as we can. Every single point we talk about, we want to be the team that competes harder than our opponent, that is more locked in and together than the opponent, and then just shows love for each other. And so if we do those things, we'll let the chips fall where they may and see where it takes us.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for Coach's Corner. I want to thank you one more time, Coach Struck, and I want to wish you guys the best of the luck down in Mobile, Alabama at the tournament.
Yes, thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.